I'm Taitin Julius, MP Gembe North in Meru County. Gembe North falls under the category of the handships that I've seen. Cutthroat rustling is one of the rampant things. If you all listen to the media, it's a prevalent problem. Two, Wimbonda Isiolo, all the ones. And the areas next to Isiolo has all these advanced conditions. Why are we not having a few schools? Anyway, I've written even to the ministry. I have about 4 schools along that marginal belt. P.S. kindly, when are they likely to be included in the row of the low-cost schools, despite the challenges of finance? Because even though the challenges are there, we should not be excluded, because I've seen population has been expanding despite the meager resources that we have been getting.
Chair, the thing I know that part of Meru is that we are bringing them on board in terms of school feeding program. In the review that we are doing, we are bringing them on board in the school feeding program, but not on the school, on the low-cost boarding, because some of the biggest challenges that we are really treating is the retrogressive ways of FGM and early marriages, and then the nomadic style of living, and which does not so much affect Meru. I think what we are dealing with Meru is that some parts of it is progressively becoming food insecure, and therefore we are going to deal with food insecurity as a priority for that particular region.
The informal sectors, have you included some of the informal sectors, especially Nairobi, Madare, Kibra, and Mkurukwajen?
I think when I answer the next question, which is question number 2, and the annexes that we have circulated, it will be able to give us some way forward.
For members.
Question number 2, the implementation status of the school feeding program in terms of the list of schools, sub-counties benefiting from the program, and expansion plans, if any. Chair, I would want to respond as follows. As you are aware, the school meals program in Kenya started in 1979 after the country was hit by a severe drought that affected 80% of the population and resulted in school dropouts. The program, Chair, was undertaken by the government of Kenya in partnership with the World Food Program, starting with 240 children. By the 1990s, the number of children in school meals program had steadily expanded, and the government committed to meet 50% of the cost of transport, storage, and handling of the food commodities. Following the introduction of the free and compulsory primary education in the year 2003, the number of learners joining primary schools expanded exponentially, and in 2018, the program was fully taken over by government of Kenya, because the World Food Program indicated that Kenya does not now fall within the category of those who would be able to be supported by the World Food Program. The program was fully taken over, therefore, by government. It is now implemented by the National Council for Nomadic Education in Kenya, NACONEC, on behalf of the Ministry of Education and on behalf of government. The program has expanded gradually after the transition to cover a total of 2,653,012 learners in various school categories as tabulated below, Chair. Chair, those who in 11 counties which are totally food insecure, we do provide food in kind to 1,134,801 learners. In areas that they may be able to get food from the local communities under the homegrown program, and therefore the cash transfer, we target 599,000 learners, 308. Special needs schools, Chair, we do provide also for these schools, and we feed 29,864. On refugees who are also in areas which are food insecure, we do feed 119,448 learners. On porridge for urban slums with high number of out-of-school children and areas severely affected, we feed 769,000. We give an hot porridge to 769,561 learners, mainly in the informal settlements. Chair, we have circulated Annex 1, which provides some basic information on what you had asked us, Chair. The budget allocation for school feeding program in the year 2022, that's in the last financial year, was 3.8 billion shillings. In the financial year 2023-2024, 4.9 billion shillings was allocated to the program. Chair, we anticipate to feed 4 million children in the next financial year, and we are aware that we have requested 6 billion shillings for that particular financial year so that we can meet our target of feeding 4 million children. As a leading advocate in the Global School Meals Coalition, Kenya has pledged to achieve a universal school feeding program by 2030. And this will require us increasing the current coverage of 2.6 million children to 10.7 million learners who are in our primary and junior school by 2030, as indicated, Chair. And with an interim target of achieving 4 million children by the end of the school calendar year this year. The expansion plans, Chair, are in place as there exists a task force that is developing, that is working with our partners. Currently, we are working with the World Food Program and Rockefeller Foundation in ensuring that as we move towards meeting the target of 4 million by the end of the school term and 10 million universal feeding by 2030, that we achieve this. I would also want to mention, Chair, which may not be necessarily documented here, that we are working with other partners, including the World Bank, in a program that we are developing. Chair, so as already saying, working with the Ministry of Education through NACONEC on retargeting process to scale up the program with regards to the Kenya Global School Meals Coalition commitment at 10 million, which will be a universal feeding by 2030. So, Chair, the documentation in terms of those who are being fed on various categories, either on porridge or on an hot meal, has been circulated, indicating areas where this school feeding program is currently taking place. So, Chair, we have circulated the annex that indicates the areas that we are feeding.
So, members, what you have actually is summarized document.
The same. You have a total of around 29,664 enrollment, right? The summary.
Yes, in the summary.
Yes. I've gone through the annex, and I want to draw your attention to Vihiga, a constituency known as Rwanda. Sub-county. That's the last page of the annex. Yes. That's on cash transfer, right?
Yes.
Yes. Are you there? Special needs education cash transfer. The annex. Right? Yes. I happen to come from that sub-county, Rwanda.
Yes.
I've lived for the rest of my life, right? We are saying that the number of schools you are supporting under the homegrown, under the special needs cash transfer is 1, and the enrollment of 41 students, if I get you right, is it?
Yes.
I wish to know what to consider because Luanda, we have close to 16 special schools. 16. I don't know whether this is a consideration given to the School of the Deaf, which is more of a national center because it has kids from all over. But we have got 16 special centers, special needs schools. A visit to those schools recently gave me a picture that I didn't know before because these kids are in totally bad shape. Now, if we have a program that goes to assist such, and we have one school assisting 41, I would really want to know which is this one school, and I can give you.
The list is here.
Yeah, because Chairman, do you expect me to look at this bulk information now? You know, so I would really wish to get your sentiments on the same, because from where I sit, Bana PS, we have 16 special schools. Yes, yes. There are those that deal with they deal with different categories of I think how you classify them, right? So I really want to find out where the other 15.
Yeah, I think on the other system.
Yeah, exactly. I've just been able to see you are providing for Mustinyi. Mustinyi is special school,
Yes.
and this is one of the 16. And I can assure you that Mustinyi is better than the others. Now, I now know the reason. Maybe
Rockefeller to do retargeting, because most of these schools were schools that were inherited when the World Food Program was running the program. We are now retargeting the schools and even the food insecure regions. That's why I was confirming to Honorable Taitimu that in this, yes, Taitumu, Mwalimu, that out of the retargeting that we are doing, more regions will come in. Like in the informal settlements, we are still on the original 7 municipalities. There are so many other urban areas that have come up with the informal settlements. Out of the retargeting that we are doing now, it is a running exercise that is going on. Then it will be able to capture more, including the special schools that you have mentioned. And Chair, one commitment that I would want to give is that all our special schools, all of them, which are boarding, all our boarding special schools, we shall now be taking care of them through school feeding so that they do not need to pay boarding fees in terms for food. So starting the next, in our next financial year, none of our special schools which are boarding will be buying food. They will be taken care of by the school feeding program as one of the ways of intervention on special needs education. I can assure you, Honorable Member, that in this retargeting, those 15 schools will be captured out of this retargeting.
I appreciate your observation, but maybe you will allow me in the fullness of time. You will now need to find that we are leaving out a very big number of these special needs schools and accommodate in point two. Just like recently we had the new Ajami program. Remember, the government went back to Mopao and we discovered that many had been left out.
What about the rest of the country? It could be that you don't have proper statistics. Same applies to what Orero is asking. You know, when you get into MPs now, for example, if it were on the floor, each and every MP would be raising this question that in my constituency or in my sub-county, I have 15 special needs schools, and they are not receiving this. So you prepare maybe to do what we are saying, retargeting again. And maybe as you respond, I was just wondering, you know, not that because I'm a Catholic, but see, Catholic Church used to sponsor, you know, it is a pioneer in terms of education in the country. So previously, beside the normal schools, they also had special needs schools. Do you also extend to private institutions? I have a case in point here. A Catholic institution then which was taking care of auto sim students. You know, those are also very unique in their own way. But if the sponsorship is not anywhere from the church, do you also consider such, or one must be a government institution? So you can now respond to the questions or the issues raised by members.
Let me start from you.
And also the kids were in special cases. But just to clarify, Chair, I've discovered Luanda has got more than one, because some of them you've captured under Imhaya. For example, Wandeche Special School is one of them. The Kwanda Special School is in Luanda. Ebuyalu is in Imhaya, right? And Epsirach is in Luanda. So you discover that out of the 16 now, you've covered 4. But some of them have been misplaced in Imhaya, not in Luanda.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, Chairman, next time when you make a presentation before us, provide the 20 copies, 20 hard copies, even if it's voluminous as this one. Yes.
This is one area where the session of paper that is coming to school has fairly looked at the special needs. And we are looking at special needs because there are so many other people who support special needs schools. And we may want, the way going forward is that in terms of intervention for special needs schools, it may be going beyond just the boundaries of public-private. Yeah, because sometimes some of these kids are in a place where there is already an existing special needs school, which may not necessarily have been a government school. So this one, within the sessional paper that is coming, we are looking at a way in which we bring in more of the special needs kids into the bracket of learning. And because of cultural issues and beliefs, sometimes these kids are hidden away. And some parents may be more comfortable taking them to certain institutions which may not necessarily be government. And therefore, when it comes to supporting them, the support may cross-cut the traditional public-private dichotomy. So that is one area where we have captured through the Presidential Working Party and the sessional paper. On retargeting, Chair, is that we are going to onboard all special needs schools. I did also visit Tika School for the Blind last week, and mainly the secondary school section. And what we are saying is that we are going to be cross-cutting in terms of special needs, because you get some special needs schools have ECD, they have primary school, they have junior school, and secondary school within the same framework. Yet our school feeding program essentially targets primary and junior school. But for special schools, we shall be cross-cutting. That is the other thing that we are doing in the retargeting program, because we would want to capture as many of the special needs kids and use this as a motivation for parents to allow these kids to come to school. Because we know there are so many of them who are hidden in their homes because of so many other beliefs and cultural practices. And therefore, we would want to make it easy for parents to get out these kids to school and learning environment. Chair, on the question from Mheshimiwa on drought intervention, last year, when we were hit by the most difficult situation on drought, there are regions which were not necessarily, who are not necessarily food insecure. But within this time that we had, the drought that we had in the last 2 years, they were targeted under the drought mitigation program, which was a support from the World Bank and other development partners to cure that particular issue, because kids were dropping out of school even in regions which are not traditionally food insecure. So it was an intervention that was targeting that particular time to deal with that particular situation that we were facing as a country. So it was a resource that was provided by development partners under drought intervention. So some was enhancing in some regions, even the places which are traditionally food insecure, they could have been need for us to enhance even to a second meal in places that they were getting a single meal. There are some now we started giving porridge in the morning, which was almost breakfast, and the traditional meal at lunch hour, because we were dealing with a specific problem on this particular time. On the home-based care, I think this one area, Chair, that we shall need to deal with and be able to look at how we deal with it. It may not be as been a traditional way that we are dealing with it, but this one we shall look into it, Chair, as we do retargeting, as one of those areas which is special in itself. Yours on the informal settlement, which is the UJI program. We started by targeting the early years of learning, which is grade 1 to grade 3. Yeah, that is why the population may look smaller than what is there. Yes, if there is anything else that may be added, I'll request the CEO of NACONEC to be able to do any intervention, because he's the one who is doing a day-to-day running of the program.
Fine. Maybe. Yeah, thank you, PS. The reason I asked that, but still not very convinced. This is, it will require a lot of convincing for me to appreciate that some areas where I've grown up, that description cannot fit in. And this is where we get an equitable distribution of resources in this country, where we fit in something just somewhere for the sake of it, and have resources flowing to that area.
As I said, it is not the traditional food insecure areas. And this, some parts of Tigania, both Tigania Central and Tigania West, and some parts of Laare, in terms of cash transfers. So we captured quite a number of areas, appreciating the dynamics then. Yeah, so I just wanted to bring that so that we know that they are also